Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Mofolusha Shonai Cave. This is your first time here. I'm the kick-ass mom, and recently my friend Ebuwa Babajide and I embarked on a tour of the north. I haven't really been up north before, only visited Abuja when I was working in a corporate organization, and it was from my hotel back to the meeting room and then out of Abuja, so I didn't get to see the town. So we decided to do Abuja, Kaduna, Kano. This particular video is us documenting our experience in Abuja and Kano. A separate video has been done for Abuja. This one is about our Kano experience. So sit back, relax. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to my channel, please, and enjoy this. Right, so the first night on arriving Kano, I'll just tell you this. I flew via Max Air. We came via Max Air, and imagine, after delays and all that, they routed my luggage in error to Lagos. So imagine standing in front of the the pulley or whatever, and seeing all the boxes pass and just waiting for your box, and then it suddenly stops and your box is nowhere to be found. It has never happened to me before. I was totally disoriented and confused, but of course their process was seamless. I filled a form, lodged a complaint, and luckily, thank God, by the next day my luggage was located and sent back to Kano, to where it was. After we got into the hotel, settled down, we still went out to Prince Hotel, had some pepper soup and tea. Oh, they take a lot of tea in Kano, guys, a lot. I think that's what they have, a tea blend for everything. So after pepper soup and tea, we went back to our hotel. Stay tuned for day one. Before breakfast, actually, we went just across the Grand Central Hotel, where we had some little shops where they were selling like souvenirs and stuff that would remind you of Kano. So they had gemstones in their raw form, they had wood carvings, they had bronze carvings, they had leather bracelets from gemstones and stuff like that, and also their traditional attire, the traditional Hausa wear, and lovely things. So we bought a few things before we moved on to Kumi Market. If you have grown up in Lagos all your life and you think Balogun Market is like all that, forget it. You haven't seen anything like this market. They tell us that it is the biggest market in West Africa, the biggest textile market. And see, the factories for these textiles are also located in Kano. They have a really big industrial estate in Chalanga or something, where they have factories and different things where they do all of this stuff. And so you'll see fabrics. In fact, we didn't scratch the surface of this market at all. Look at us like happy bunnies in this Mudassir Brothers Plaza. That was one of the plazas we went to first. It's like about 4 floors full of textiles and abayas, different categories, different sizes. Oh my God, we just, initially we were just confused, like, oh, where do we even start from? Wonderful. And I noticed that they have a lot of generational businesses in Kano. I think they've cracked that code of running businesses that outlive you. So it's from generation to generation. You would hear businesses that have been there for, from the 60s, from the 50s, and they're still there running properly, right? So this was our first stop in the Kumi Market. Then we moved on to get some abayas from other parts of the market and scarves, and and you can see our hats. So it was sunny, and like I said, we're not about to get sunburned, so we got someone to help us get these traditional hats, straw hats, to protect our skin from the sun. Next stop was the tannery, GB Enterprises tannery, where someone that Fuad went to school with was there to receive us. He's the MD there now, and he took us around. I was really impressed with this, guys, because I thought these things were no longer functional. First time I ever saw or heard about the tanneries in the north was on Twitter. and it was on a foreigner's page. She came all the way to see these places where they process the leather, and I was like, wow, I never ever knew this. And so this was me right there experiencing this. He took us from, so you will see the videos, he took us from process to process. Being a chemical engineer, okay, well, I have a chemical engineering background. I do not practice, but I understand processes and stages and and stuff like that, process operations. He took us through their operations, how they source the leather, where it comes from. So because up north during Sala and all of that, they kill an enormous amount of cows and rams and whatever. So people bring all of the skin and hide from these animals, and they are sorted, processed, and taken through this whatever, and now made to specification for brands abroad. Next up, we went to the EMIR's palace. See guys, we switched it up here. We just quickly threw on the abayas that we bought at the Kurmi market. Of course, when you're in Rome, you behave like the Romans, yeah? So we were not about to be going to the EMIR's palace in our jeans and t-shirts, hell no. So we threw on our abayas and wore the veils. And just went in to try to see if we could meet with the emir. Fuad's dad had put a call through, and they had said, okay, no problem, you can see, but there were a lot of people there waiting to see the emir, so we had to go. We couldn't wait. We just took pictures around the wonderful artwork. It's beautiful, and you know what, these carvings and designs date as far back as 100 years before now. Like, they keep the history, the culture is rich and so beautiful. So we took, and there's so much pride, because even the guys around the Emir's palace were telling us, oh no, take a picture here. This was painted in the 1900s or maybe 200. They were just showing us lovely things. This is like an emblem or a symbol that represents Kano City.
Each and every bride is being escorted to her room using this in those early times. Do you know why?
Why?
In those days, we are characterized by a polygamous society.
Yes.
And this is what those women of those days use in throwing words. It's a musical instrument with regards to communication.
And from there, we went to CILANTRO, where they have the Indian cuisine. We have cilantro in Lagos as well, but continental mostly. I don't know if they have the Indian one here. So we went to the Indian one in Kano City, and boy did we eat. Oh my goodness, their portions are different. And of course, when you're in Kano, what is life in Kano without tasting suya? Hello, this was holiday, so forget Fit Farm. We ended the day at Prince Hotel with our usual tea and then suya. So guys, this is day 2, and by day 2 we just stayed in the room, took a few pictures, and after Fuad had settled and all that, we set out in our luxury ride that Fuad provided, and we went into town, like downtown Kano City. So we saw every side of Kano, right? We went to see his dad's sister. We moved around, and he went to pray at the mosque. While he was praying at the mosque, we bonded with his aunts, took a few pictures, and we went to Dala Hills. So Dala Hills was another wonderful place with some rich history. I heard that the first people who settled there were pagans who had no religion per se. I think they used to worship the sculptures and stuff, and that was their settlement before the Arab invasion, and they were chased away. But this part was preserved, and I think the leader then was called Dala or something. That's why the place was named after him. And so it had stairs, and from the top of the place you can see the whole of Kano City. Beautiful view. I think it's also a nice place for camping. I hear they have some events on top of that hill sometimes, so it was a very nice place. And after that we went to the spice market. All of their markets in Kano are so huge, guys. big markets with everything you can ever think of. This was my first time of seeing the star anise spice. I'd never heard of it. I didn't know what it was, and after we were just buying garlic, coriander, ginger. We got some zobo leaves, that's hibiscus flower. We got some cloves and other things that we're familiar with. And so while we were buying, somebody brought the star spice, and I was like, what is this? I don't even know what it was. And it was quite pricey compared to the other spices. So I just thought, we didn't need this. But of course, when I got to Lagos and researched it, I found out, wow, this is an amazing thing to have, especially if you want to lose tummy fat, guys. Yeah, so mine is on the way. I've ordered mine, and I'll be picking it up very soon. I might do a video to show you how to use this. So from there, we moved on to the National Museum. The National Museum, Gidan Makama, Kano. Wonderful place, beautiful history, and we had a tour guide who was just really fantastic. It's free to enter, of course, you don't have to, but you can give the guide whatever after if you're really satisfied with his work and his history telling and all of that, you give him something. So we did that. Yeah, so he took us around. We saw the initial walls of Kano. So Kano was surrounded by huge walls protecting the city before the invasion, and he showed us even where the British attacked and penetrated the Kano city from. So they've got pieces of this across Nigeria in different museums. We looked at the ones that they had here. The cannonballs that they used to destroy these walls also, he showed us. We saw the first office of Lord Lugard, and the traditional huts. And of course, you can see the same carvings that they have at the Emir's Palace here. Beautiful artwork done by hand. These are all mud houses. Very, very wonderful. We noticed that once you get inside the building, it's really cool. This, and I wonder, because these materials, I'm like, I think this is what we really should be using rather than cement in Africa. We already had our solutions before we threw them away and adopted the solutions sold to us by the white man. But hey, that's discussion for another day. That was the end of our day 2 in Kano City. Okay, so day 3, fasting was in full gear by this time, and so of course we had our veil and turban, just to blend in with the people. And you can see me rocking my gemstones. We got those from Abuja, some from Kano, and they're actual gemstones, guys. I got my friend got lapis lazuli. I think I have moonstone on this. I've got amethyst. I've got some just different stones. We'll talk about that. That's another story for another day. But yeah, I feel so good. Yes, I had citrine. I wanted that specifically. I had that in this collection, this bracelet. So the first stop on day 3 was the tie and dye pit, and we met this interesting man who said, I don't speak a lot of English, but for someone who said he didn't speak a lot of English, he did a fantastic job taking us through all of the materials they use in their tie and dye process.
This is the 3 ingredients to give the solution like this. So number 1, ash, local ash from the firewood. Number 2, natural indigo plant.
Different pits, how they are prepared, how the fabric is put in and brought out, and the different, so they have their traditional designs, moon and star, Emir's Palace, whatever. He gave us different names. There's a video about that you will see. Yeah, so these are their traditional designs that they do. And I noticed they like a lot of blue. Very, very lovely. And from there, someone told us about a local tannery where they mostly process goat hides and skins, and alligator and snake skin. So we quickly switched to that. Not far from this place. This is not as exotic as the GB Enterprise tannery that we went, where they export the leather that is processed there. This is for local consumption. So those leather purses that people have, the wallets, the bags, this is where they process all of the leather. So we saw snake snake skin, goat skin. Oh, by the way, the stench from this place, oh my goodness, it wasn't funny. So if you're not the type that can manage in these places, yeah, maybe you know, wear your mask or whatever, or don't even go there. But it was nice to see where all of this is happening. I had concerns about continuity because most of the people that were processing here were quite old. But when we asked, they showed us a couple of young people who were working with you know, these elderly men, mostly their children. So like I said, they have cracked generational wealth and continuity in Kano. Most of them, you know, pass their skills or whatever, or trade from generation to generation. So that was what was going on here. So after we finished with the local tannery, you know, Fuad said, hey, let's go to another one. This is Globus tannery in Chalanga, right in the industrial estate. We went there. This one was really in full production. Well, not full production, but busier than the GB Enterprises one we visited the day before. And yeah, and the MD also, the CFO, took us around and graciously showed us everything from start to finish.
So after 24 hours, then there will be no hair on the skin. But now the actual flesh, you can see the back from that flesh there.
Even where your pomo comes from, guys, oh my goodness, I was saying no way, there's no way I'm eating pomo anymore after visiting 2 or 3 tanneries in the north and seeing how these things are processed. Although he assured us that the ones here are hygienically collected and processed, they have not been put in chemicals, and so they are safe to consume. But I'm just like, hey, I beg, no, I'm not going to be eating my capital anymore. There's money in this thing, right? And we are here eating it down south. No. We then went to the Kano Zoological Gardens. Guys, they actually have an elephant, like an actual elephant. It was exciting to see the elephant and take pictures with the elephant and all that. I think that was the most exciting thing for me. The lion, the baboon, the monkeys, they have a giraffe as well. Most of them are quite I think, you know, in the afternoon when it's really hot, they are tired, so they were sleeping. They did not interact with us much. They didn't even look up to see us. The monkeys were jumping about because we threw in a few bananas, but the elephant was just the highlight. After seeing the elephant, I was like, you know what, we're done, let's move from here. From there we went to see Dr. Farouk, Goni Dr. Farouk, Fuad's dad, wonderful host and director of a lot of companies in Nigeria. You know, very nice exposed man with a great worldview. You know, so we had a few conversations, took a couple of pictures at his, and then went for dinner at a Chinese restaurant in Kano. Lovely place. I love this rotating 3D image or whatever that they had in front of the restaurant, and we took a picture there. So of course we went back to the hotel, freshened up, and came out for tea. That night, I mean, earlier in the day, we had met the chef of the Grand Central Hotel, Chef Benoit, apparently a celebrity chef who has been in Lagos, Protea Hotel, several. So it was just like, oh guys, you have not experienced this hotel, you haven't been coming down to eat, come down for dinner. I'm hosting a friend of mine who is visiting from Australia, and a couple of other guys. And so we came down, had dinner again. My God, we were so full. Oh my goodness. Yeah, because you know, chefs are very proud of their. He said he makes the best potato casserole in the whole of Africa. In fact, he said in the whole world. It was nice. Yeah, it was nice. But we were quite full, but it was nice to hang out on our last night in Kano City, and it was goodbye Kano City. A wonderful experience that I think was really worth it. I have a couple of pictures of, you know, the spices. These ones are, you know, the different spices that were available in the market. You can do some research. Maybe I'll do a separate video later talking about the benefits of these different spices. But yeah, these are pictures of the different spices that were available at the spice market in Kano. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying with me this long, and I look forward to seeing you subscribe and interacting with you in the comments. Cheers, guys.